Comrades, welcome back to the race for the White House. I am Admiral Andre, and when we left off in the last episode, I just won the debate against Donald Trump by some miracle. I don't know how much it takes to win against him, but at least we managed it. I see right now there's not a lot of high-profile events in the offing here. There's a few things we can go to, like the casino in an Indian reservation in California. That might be a good one. But what we can also do, and I think we have to do it now before we get into the last weeks of this campaign, we have to book a rally. And we can do that. I don't know if we can do it multiple times. It depends. It could be possible in the longer scenario, but because we're playing the shorter one, I think we'll only have one chance. And I remember the last time I did this, there was another one of these bomb scares happening, so ultimately the event couldn't go ahead. So we're just going to have to make sure that the security is up to par to handle that. Now for this kind of thing, you can see a lot of the options are grayed out because we can't afford them. Generally speaking, we want a higher profile venue just because that's a better association with us. So I wouldn't want to go to, let's say, one of these half-star places. I've got nothing against them, of course. It's just ultimately it's going to be a bigger exposure for us if we go to, for example, the Iowa State Fairgrounds or the Goal Center in Wisconsin, or even the outdoor arena in North Carolina. The really big profile events are grayed out because they're far too expensive for a small candidate like me. So which one should we take? I'm wondering. They're all pretty much the same, these 1.5 stars, but let's take the most expensive one because we can afford it. That's the Goal Center in Wisconsin. So the only available dates, and this is why I don't think you can do this too often, would be the 23rd or the 26th of October. And of course the next week, well, 2 weeks after that, the election is happening. So I think let's take the earlier date, Monday the 23rd. And then I'll just book that. Maybe even we can convince the people in Wisconsin to vote for me then. So now we've got no money again. Now we can just go around the country in our, I guess in our tour bus, but it would probably be an airplane because it's far too far to go around so quickly. What's this one? Actually, I should look here. Alternative Energy Congress could be nice. That might be something worth going to. Let's do that. So others have said expand the oil and gas exploitation, expand offshore drilling, and a comprehensive survey of America's energy reserves. No one has said anything about green energy yet, which is surprising. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to say increase wind and solar energy.
Why would any nation want to remain shackled to high oil prices? This only causes havoc to our economy. We have the brainpower and the technology to pave the way to clean wind and solar energy. We must invest more in green energy solutions for America's future.
There we go. So what's...
I just wanted to tell you that the campaign statements you've made have really made an impact on me. I support your candidacy, and I'm going to do what I can to help you win the election. I'm going to make a donation right away to a PAC that supports you. Good luck.
Thank you. So it's not a huge amount of money. Of course, to me in real life, this would be a huge amount, but in terms of the campaign, it's not really. But of course, we're very grateful for that. Let's see, what's this one down here? Is that the Indian reservation? Yes, it is. I think that might be the best option right now. It's a bit of a quiet period in the campaign. So let's go down to California. It's a very important state for us. Special invitation to casino in the Wechanga Resort in California, meeting the staff and customers. Let's see, reform No Child Left Behind, free quality education. Let's say this, I want to invest $10 billion in early childhood education. I think that's really important.
We should recognize that research has shown the great impact of early experiences on a child's brain. They impact a child's future success, so this is why I would be ready to invest $10 billion in a program for very young children so that they can have access to the quality education that they deserve.
The backdrop is really funny, but anyway, spending money, I guess that's a good venue.
I already made a small donation to your campaign, but now I'd like to do more, since I'm convinced that you're the person for the job. My friends and colleagues also feel that you're the candidate who best serves our interests. Check your bank account. A wire transfer will arrive soon. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. So that's quite generous. We have almost $500,000 from him. I saw there's something about Donald Trump and the southwest border, which is quite appropriate. Let's see, can we do anything else? I might have to do something about security here. The finance one is still out of the question, but okay, we still have the demining team for the next 3 trips. Online reputation, they are definitely going to try and slander me with some scandal online, so I'm probably going to have to spend this money. Then security is still active for 1 more rally. That's not good, so I'm going to renew that. So 2 rallies. I don't know. It should last for a little while at least. So now we have no money again. Can I get any kind of ads? What about human billboards? How much does that cost? No, 50,000. So we don't even have enough for that. Oh dear. Oh well. What's next? There's a gun expo in St. Louis, Missouri. That can be a good one. What's this? Debate in a gay bar in Texas. That could be interesting, but it's not really a high-profile event. So let's go to the gun expo. That's going to raise some eyebrows, I'm sure. Meetings and exhibits organized by a national gun lobbying group. And I think we can all know which lobbying group, but anyway. Let's say I want to, yes, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm gonna make enemies. Let's say I don't, okay, I want to have more strictness in gun control. I won't say ban the possession of handguns, but some more strictness is definitely needed. Although again, there are always going to be people who oppose that. In any case, I have to take a stand here on something, so it's like Winston Churchill said, you have enemies? Good, then you've stood up for something sometime in your life. So, yes.
In spite of waiting periods and background checks, guns today are too readily available. Basically, anyone responsible or irresponsible, a law-abider or a violent criminal can easily get their hands on a gun and commit any number of crimes with it. This is why we must have stricter gun control laws.
Smile for the cameras. Oh, so such a cheesy candidate. There is a gala for, well, it's with a military strategist, but I don't think they will like what I said about reducing the nuclear weapons. I can still go, but I'm pretty sure, well, maybe because I spoke in favor of veterans, they might give me something. Let's have a look.
First of all, I want to thank you for such a kind invitation. I'm very pleased to be here. I guarantee you that with me in the presidency, my administration will always keep you in mind and support you in all circumstances. Together, we can build this great American dream.
Uh-oh. Not a cent. Oh, good grief. Okay, so I don't have friends in the business area. I don't have friends in the military arena. That's not looking good. Anyway, there's some meeting at an abortion clinic. I think we should go to that one. The rally is not for another few days. Actually, wait, before we go, because that will move time onwards, because of our headquarters, we've earned enough money to get some human billboards, and I think we should do that. We should take every opportunity we can right now. So I'm going to say let's get some human billboards, and we are going to put them in New York State, just because that's where they will push us hopefully over the edge. Human billboards wearing sandwich boards encouraging candidates to vote for a specific candidate, I think that's just the public to vote for a specific candidate, have an immediate influence on voters, but once they're gone, their influence returns to zero. A human billboard can be recruited for 4 days. They're most effective when used in the last days of the campaign, so we're not there yet, so maybe this is not a good idea. What about a poster campaign? Those last the rest of the election period. That's 300,000. No, let's just do the billboards or human billboards. Hopefully they'll have a more lasting impact. But anyway, so we'll only do this in New York. So you'll see people running around with billboards. Yes, let's go to the clinic. Pro-life protest outside of an abortion clinic. Yes, I'm not going to be popular there. I've already defended pro-choice legislation. Should I go and say it anyway? No, I think we should go to the youth center in Miami. It's the only other option, but I've already spoken on that issue, so we shouldn't repeat ourselves. An after-school program where inner-city youth can spend their afternoons and evenings learning skills in technology, the arts, music and more. I think this is great because in real life I research technology, at least learning technology. That's not the only thing I research, but that is some area of it. So I know the value of that as well. Let's see. Hate speech legislation, student loan, national endowment. No, I don't want to reduce that. What about increasing the funding for education of children with disabilities? I think there's always a need for that. Or we could ban the military recruiting in public schools. I think that's also something that should be spoken against. But that just speaks against something. It doesn't actually have a result in terms of hopefully increasing quality of life. So I'll rather do that with the children with disabilities.
All children deserve the best, and this is especially true for any child with a disability. We can't deprive these kids of the educational activities that they need to be able to thrive. We must increase funding for their programs because it's currently insufficient and it's hurting the education of countless children.
Good. Hillary Clinton, I'm just listening some of the news down here. I don't always follow that, but that tells you everything that the other candidates are doing. In any case, there is let's see, what's happening here now? There's a television debate. This is against Hillary now. There's also some other things happening in the morning in Georgia. Maybe, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do both. So this is the same day, October the 22nd. This is 11 a.m. The other one is 9 p.m. in Florida. I should be able to do both, shouldn't I? Let's hope so. I don't want to miss the televised debate. This is a tour of the Georgia, a nuclear-powered submarine based at the naval submarine base Kings Bay. So let's see. Take military action against Iran, disarm North Korea, balanced budget. What about this one? Immediately reduce federal non-discretionary defense spending to 2008 levels. That will reduce the exorbitant amount of money that's spent on the military every year. And that will still be a high level. I mean, in 2008, the US was in any case spending how many ever times more than any other country. So let's do that. Defense will hate me, of course, but this will help to balance the budget.
My plan, if elected, is to cut $5 trillion in government spending over the next 5 years. This would include immediately reducing federal non-discretionary defense spending to 2008 levels. We can achieve a balanced budget, and we must achieve a balanced budget. An expensive and bloated military will simply ruin our nation's economy.
Then we can use that money for the children with disabilities and for the 10 billion for early childhood. Okay, so she also went to the submarine now. So now it's time for the debate. It's 2 p.m. now, so we can still make it to Lynn University. So this will be the last debate of the campaign.
Good evening, and welcome to the third and final U.S. presidential debate of the 2012 campaign season. The rules here are
2016.
simple. Both candidates will take turns addressing key issues that I will ask them. Obviously, the time allowed for each candidate will be strictly balanced. We have also implemented a new instant polling system, which will assess the impact of each candidate's responses on viewers and somewhat predict...
Hillary, where's your emails?
If I were to ask you about your views concerning how much power the states should have vis-a-vis the federal government, what would be your answer?
Oh dear, I go first. I didn't even listen to the question. Oh dear. What about this? Reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act. That sounds decent. Yes, to prosecute against violent crimes against women.
Man or woman, legal or undocumented, heterosexual or homosexual, should be denied protections against domestic abuse or sexual violence. Many vulnerable individuals, especially women, will suffer serious violence if we do not reauthorize this essential act to combat the scourge of intimate violence in our society.
I was concerned with the emails, that's why I wasn't listening to the question.
What are your views regarding this subject?
No one, man or woman,
oh, you're just copying me now.
Heterosexual or homosexual, should be denied protections against
No,
domestic
Hillary,
abuse
you can't
or
just take
sexual
my
violence.
answer word for
Many
word.
vulnerable individuals, especially women, will suffer serious violence if we do not reauthorize this essential act.
You're plagiarizing
to combat
me.
the scourge of intimate violence in society.
Luckily, she didn't get as much of a support from it.
One issue that seems to be very hotly debated throughout this campaign season refers to the many challenges facing our nation regarding immigration. What are your proposals?
Oh dear.
Let's face it, most illegal immigrants would make good American citizens.
Wow, she got a lot
They
of
have
support
come here
from that.
searching for the land of opportunity. I propose that they be granted citizenship if they meet certain important requirements.
What am I going to
pay
say
their
now?
taxes, learn English, and work in a steady job for a number of years.
Thank you. Now it's your turn.
I think I'm going to lose this one.
Subject?
Deport all... No, I don't want to be like Trump. Oppose the Green Act and... Let's say we'll raise visa quotas for unskilled and semi-skilled workers. So those are not permanent residents. It's just if there's the need for that. That still gives a balanced response. And no one hates it.
Our illegal immigration problem in this country is compounded by laws that are too inflexible. We need to institute quotas that match the market demands in our economy. This means we must adjust visa quotas for less skilled workers and then increasing them when necessary to meet the demand of the marketplace.
I'm definitely going to lose this one.
Many people express concern about terrorism, not only on U.S. soil, but around the world. And what is the best way for the U.S. to fight sophisticated terrorist groups?
Okay, I'm
What is
already
your
repealing
message to
the
them?
Patriot Act. Withdraw the troops, take support Israel, end the sanctions against Iran. Try terrorist suspects in defeating radical Islamists across the world. Let's take that one.
Keeping America safe and strong is the most important duty of government. However, we currently lack a unified strategy for defeating radical Islam. My plan is to develop a global strategy that would marginalize radical Islam. This way, we would isolate them, cut their ties and their support, and defeat them.
Very well. Now it's your turn. What are your views
Say something
on
bad.
this subject?
I am determined to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. We must
Oh,
succeed
she's
in
just on
destroying
about
another
Iran again.
catastrophic
Look at
war.
my face
the
again.
The region has been ravaged incessantly. We must use sanctions in order to achieve peace and security in the region. It is
See,
time
my
for
strategy
peace.
is more global.
Thank you both. We've reached the end of our debate.
Now we get the closing
In closing,
statement.
We'll hear one final statement from each of our candidates,
So hopefully
including
she
perhaps
bombs
a final
here.
promise.
We are not going to balance our budget if we don't reduce government spending. Many programs have received large funds, but could run with a much leaner budget. One such program is the Victims of Child Abuse, VOCA, Act. Its funding should be reduced. saving the government
What?
millions of dollars.
Victims of child abuse should be reduced. Okay, now I can change things. If I get a big enough issue, I can still win this debate. But what's a really hot issue? Let's think about it. Something everyone can get behind. Well, what did Bush... Was it Bush who said it's the economy, stupid? Maybe we should say something about the economy. If there is such a choice. Doesn't look like it. Islamic countries. Purchasing power. Reduce taxes for families by tripling the personal deduction for each child. That could work. Lower individual income taxes. I think everyone can support that, but whether we can actually do it is another matter. Well, if we reduce it by 0.25%, it's still keeping our promise.
My desire is to see a
they
fairer,
didn't go
flatter
for it.
system for individual income taxes. We not only need to lower individual taxes, we need to simplify the whole system. By
Yes, that I
lowering
can agree.
individual income
Simplify.
taxes, we increase purchasing power and individual consumption, which is essential to boost growth in America.
Oh, so she
I would like
wins
to
this
thank you
one.
both for
Oh,
maintaining
well.
a civil discourse throughout this debate. I hope that our viewers were able to get a clearer picture of each candidate. It seems our instant survey system has meanwhile
Sad
designated
face.
a winner for our debate.
She
this
has a
evening,
very
something that
unhealthy
may
pallor
influence
about
the
her.
results of the election this November 6th. Good night, everyone.
She needs to get some sunlight, I think. Anyway, I lost. Oh well, can't win them all, I guess. There's an aircraft carrier on the other side of the country, but I've already made enough enemies now, so let's see, what else can I do? Yes, that's the thing. I was just thinking, isn't the rally today? And it is, that's why it's flashing here, so that's where I have to go. But do we have security? Yes, we still do. Protection is active. The demining isn't working anymore, but I don't have enough money, so they might do a bomb scare. Let's go. So this is my big rally in the election. Yep, they bombed it. Oh, troublemakers driven. Oh, goodness. Okay, thank goodness. It wasn't a bomb, it was just a mob again, but the security managed to drive them off. So, luckily I can still go ahead.
Good evening, all.
Yay! Okay, now I can speak about a lot of different issues. Let's talk about... I really should think about this before the rally starts, but anyway. What about economic development? Wait, oh, no. Let's make marijuana legal. Where would that be? Agriculture? Probably not. People are waiting. Where would that be? I don't know. There is something. The war on drugs. Legalize marijuana.
Marijuana is no more hazardous or dangerous than alcohol if legalized. The federal government could save as much as $13 billion a year if it were to legalize marijuana. $6 billion alone would come from taxing marijuana like we do with alcohol. It's a much better solution.
Good. Now I have to put in the caveat that I've never actually used marijuana in real life. I just think throwing a lot of people in jail, especially in the US, because of that is not the best approach to the problem. Let's see. There was a space thing here. I'm definitely behind space. Let's say I want to colonize the moon. So we're going to use the marijuana tax money to go to the moon.
I see far into the future, and I have a bold vision for all of us. If I'm elected, we will have the first permanent base on the moon, and it will be American. Reinvigorating our space program also means new, fantastic technology for our country.
There we go. I think I have one more thing I can
Thank
say.
you.
Oh,
God bless you all.
so it's over. Just those two issues. First we get high, and then we get so high we go to the moon. And no one supports me yet. Oh, that's sad. Okay, let's see. What's happening in New York? Well, we're almost at a position that we can win there, but what do I need to do? Let's put a poster. I can't afford that. Let's put some... What I really want is an internet campaign that goes to the whole country at once, but I don't have the money for that. What if I select New York? Wait, let's just go to New York and see what's happening in New York. Okay, communities: Hispanic, African American, Catholic and Jewish. So what we can do is have a television ad that specifically focuses on one of those groups. New York. Let's just see how much that will cost. Finally, a candidate working for the benefit. Oh, we can do that because it's only one state. For the Jewish community, and let's say this one is so cheesy though. I want them to prosper. See, I'm your president. Anyway, African American. I can only do one, so let's take the African American one.
With me, you can count that your African American voices will be heard.
Oh, it's so cheesy.
I approve this message.
Okay, great stuff. Let's see. No difference yet. I think we'll only see the impact by tomorrow. So what shall we do? There's a Museum of African American History. How appropriate. That's difficult to say now. Discontinue affirmative action programs. Let me just see who's involved in that. Social equality and educational inequality. What about... You see, I'd like to say institute free education for all, but that's going to really be a problem for the budget. But then again, we are supposedly saving $5 trillion from the military budget, so let's do that.
No human beings are able to survive properly without education. The very foundation of our society and the future of our nation depend on quality education. We have a responsibility to provide free education to all individuals in our society, from primary school to higher education, including for illegal immigrants.
I love how he throws the illegal immigrants right at the end. Anyway, still no support? Finally. Okay, this is the turning point in the campaign. Finally, one of the states supports us now. It's not a total majority yet, but it's the most of any party, so we will be able to count on these 29 delegates in the election, if we keep this, of course. So that's not a bad thing. New York now supports us, so at least I'm on the board now. What other things are happening? I'd like to... Can I book another rally? A dirt cheap one at the Mall of the USA in Bloomington. Now, this is an error because Indiana is not up there, it's down here. But in any case, Bloomington, Indiana. Or is that... No. I don't get this. Bloomington, IN, Minnesota. I don't know. I don't understand that. In any case, let's do that. Let's take it today. And then I'll go straight there. Where is the Mall of America? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Good evening, all.
Yay! So you see, this is where things will get very repetitive if you have a long campaign. Because you're just going to be saying the same things over and over. But let's say something about the war. No, we've said that already. Social SMEs. Create a fund for small and medium enterprises.
Well, We know from experience that oftentimes it's the smaller companies that make all the difference in people's lives in America. They create jobs and they create opportunity and they pave the way to democracy and prosperity. So financing such an endeavor through a specific fund is a role we must play as a global economic catalyst.
I saw that Donald Trump wants to oppose contraception coverage for employees as part of their health care, so maybe I can say something about health care. Keep Obamacare. That seems like a very timely issue even now at the moment, and again, it's going to have a lot of enemies, but let's do that.
Healthcare is a moral imperative for all. I hope to live to see the day when this country covers every single person with healthcare. Obamacare must be kept in place, and I will continue to defend it as the most important recent social justice program instituted.
So we'll see if that convinces more people.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Yay! Look a little happier. There we go. It's a smile at the end. So yes, it's not long until the election now. But I think I'm going to end this episode and then we'll complete this short series in the next episode. So right now New Yorkers are behind me, but the rest of the country remains unconvinced. Let's see if we can change their minds. So, hope that you'll join me next time and have a fantastic day.